Hello everyone and welcome back to the One Stop Co-op Shop. This is Colin and today we are going to start our playthrough of Forgotten Waters. If you like to see the setup of the game as well as the background of all the 4 pirates we're playing with, feel free to check out the video before this one in the playlist. Otherwise, hang out here and we're going to jump into the playthrough. Now, from our last video, when we did our introduction, we're starting on page 19, so that's the port here. And I'm going to just show you this first round we're going to do outside of the real time, because there's 2 phases in the game, the planning phase and the action phase. The planning phase is when you're placing your actual pirates out on the board. And just in case you guys didn't see in the first video, I am using these pawns for people just so that way they don't block. So you can't, because if I put this guy here and that was actually one of the standees, you can see how tall they are. It would block the things behind you just from the camera. So I am using these meeples just to make life a little bit easier. So during the planning phase, normally what would happen is we turn to this page and immediately start a timer. I have set the timer for 50 seconds. We have 50 seconds to then have each of our pirates place their meeple in one of the locations on here to then resolve it during the action phase. We don't want to look at this side of the map or of the board. We want to look at just these different actions and then what these different symbols potentially could mean. If you see these symbols that are white and clear, that would mean that those locations, the player might gain the represented skill and may have to perform a check using that specific skill. So that symbol, for an example, is called the swagger. And so if you went there, you're likely to increase your swagger and might have a swagger skill that you have to, a skill check that you have to do. Same thing for here except for exploration. Same thing for here except for brawn. This place, it's a total question mark. You have no idea. So what you do is you look at this, look at those symbols, and look at the names and go, you know what? I think I want to go to the psychic's shanty. So then I would place my meeple there, and then the next person, which would be Sally, Swordfish Sally, would say, well, I want to go to the captain's mission. I want to get that. And then our next one is Wise Old Cookie. She'll go, well, I want to bury a treasure. And then finally we have TikTok Ross, and he'd go, I'm going to go to the marketplace. So we would do that during the planning phase, and then during that action phase, we'd resolve them from top to bottom, and that's when we look at this side of the sheet. Something that I didn't mention during the setup is to talk a little bit about this constellation up here as well as our skills. So you see these skills that have stars. Every time that we upgrade that skill that has a star, we get to fill in one of these white circles in our constellation. And that is helping us complete our own personal objective. Like I said in the last video, technically in this game, you can win better than other people. Not that that really matters, but what's fun about this is you'll have your own personal ending depending upon how you do in your own personal constellation. So if you can, you want to get as many of these stars as possible. Every time you get one of these stars, you then will be able to fill in one of these circles, and if you get to an exclamation point, you'll take one of these constellation tokens, and at some point during the game, it'll say, and anyone who has one of these, resolve them. And I believe, yep, over here, you actually can read some text and actually get a certain benefit because of doing that. So it's kind of cool. So this tells you a little bit about what skills you want to go for. So for Gummy Jones, he can go for brawn, but you see these X's, he can only get to a +2. But if he gets those, each one of those that he gets, it'll actually help his personal constellation. So that's an idea that he could do. What we're going to do for this first round is I'm not going to do any sort of timing, and I'm going to tell you why I'm choosing the locations that I'm choosing. To start with, Gummy Jones is our highest infamy, so I get to decide where he wants to go. Looking here, this could increase his exploration. It's not really going to help him. He can get the stars at level 2 and 3. I think it'd be better to maybe go to the Tipsy Tortoise. If we go here, we can hopefully move up our brawn at least 1. That would allow us to then be able to get a part of our constellation done and see what happens. For Swordfish Sally, I think we're going to go ahead and just have her hang out and work in the ship. Then for Wise Old Cookie, she likes exploration. So let's go ahead and put her in the abandoned houses. And then finally for TikTok Ross, I love to know those captain missions. So let's go here. Oh, and I should mention, do you see how there's these green locations and the blue ones? The blue ones, only one person can go there at a time. The green ones, we can have as many people as we wanted on those locations. So I'm going to just do the captain's mission, work the ship, the Tipsy Tortoise, and the abandoned houses. We see here it says exploration skill +1. Awesome. And then we're going to perform an exploration check. How we do that is we're going to roll a d12 and then add whatever skills we have for exploration. And then depending upon what it is, we'll get a benefit. So if we roll between a 1 and a 6, we get a reroll. If we roll a 7 through a 10, we get 1 treasure. An 11 through 15, we get 2 treasures. And a 16 plus, we read 298. Increasing our exploration is great because it has a star on it. So let's see, this is our starting location. Why don't we do this one first? Because we only need, 3 more, and then we'll actually get to our first exclamation point. Now we're going to roll this d12. We're going to add 1, plus don't forget, we have our long-tailed jacket. Our long-tailed jacket also gives our exploration of +1. So we're going to get +2 to this roll. Let's roll it up. And we get an 8 plus 2 is 10. Oh man, 1 more and we would have gotten 2 treasure cards. Well, we at least get 1. So we'll grab the top card and we get stuffed ferret. Oh, that's giving us +1. What is that? +1 navigation. And she's going to get +1 of everything. +1 hunting. Nice. Next we have the tipsy tortoise. Intimidate the barkeep. Crew +1 and brawn +1. Cool. Then perform a brawn check. We'll push our crew up to 10. The +1 brawn is great because that's where we have a star. So let's see, let's go this way first. Awesome. And now we're going to roll. We'll add 1 to our die roll. We're hoping for as high as we can. We got an 11 plus 1, 12. I guess I'm assuming that we want as high as we can because I don't really know. Because it says between 7 and 13, read entry 300. Apparently, Gummy Jones is a little bit intimidating. I mean, the guy with no teeth walks in. He's probably talking about food. You don't even know what it is. This is where we grab the app. We pop in 300. Right? That's what it was? Yep. And we hit YARRRR. I want you to answer some questions for me. You growl at the barkeep. Sure, she says. The answer to each of them is no. Now watch your mouth, you snap. Watch your own, she growls. And with that, the two of you lock in a passionate embrace. A half hour later, you stumble out of the tipsy tortoise and head back to the ship. Did you learn anything? A peer asks when you return. I've got no answers, you admit. Just a new fiancé and the need for a bath. Reroll token +1, lock action 3. Okay, so he gained a reroll token. What that means is when we roll a die, we can choose to reroll 1 by using that. And lock action 3, it means that we can no longer do that action. So I'm going to put a lock token there. So if we stay here for the next round, someone can't go there again. We'll take them off the board and then place this here. All right, next to go is work the ship. And that is Swordfish Sally. That's going to do that. So we're going to look here. She can choose 2 of the following. Repair the hull. Hull gets +1. Scare off pesky seagulls. Gain some supply. Increase the infamy of her by 3. Chart a course. That's kind of what I want to do. I want to chart a course. Scout 2 and then navigation +1. And then this one is where you can do the competitive co-op. You can rummage through other belongings of people and try and steal one of their treasures. Not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and do chart a course for sure, and let's repair the hull. Repairing the hull, we get to push this up to a 6, and then we get to grab one of these navigation tokens, actually 2 of them because we're scouting 2. So I'm going to grab this one, and we're going to place them out on the board. They either have to be adjacent to another navigation token or to your location. So I think I'm going to do these 2 like so, and then we can flip them over. Oh, this place looks nice and clear. That's actually, I think that's 001. I haven't flipped the wrong way. There we go. And then this one is 002. Okay, but there's a ship there. So when we decide to move, if we're able to, and we want to move to one of these locations, if we move to, let's say, this location, we might meet a ship. Versus this one, it looks like it'll just be clear sailing. We also need to remember she gained 1 navigation, which is great. She can go all the way up on navigation. And that was a star. Let's see. Well, I think let's go this way first. Start filling that up. Finally, it's TikTok Ross. He's going to go ahead and get a captain's mission. Fill in the next captain missions box on the ship log and read the entry. Our first captain mission is 048. So we'll cross this off and then read that. Gathered round the fire, you and some of the crew listen to the captain read from one of his books. All witches have a tell, he says. Despite their ability to shapeshift, Each form they might take will still carry the blackened spot upon the back of their neck. Beware the mark, for it means a witch in hiding. A witch in her true form, it is alluring and hideous sight. Pale violet skin, eyes that glow like starlight, and... The captain's voice trails off as Big Henry begins to snuffle, tears rolling down his cheeks. What is it, Big Henry? Vance sighs. I think I'm a witch, Cap, the large man bawls, pointing at a mole on his neck. Big Henry, you're not a witch, groans Vance. Not all of you, listen to me. I ain't reading this for fun. You'll understand soon enough, but this stuff could save your lives one day. Everyone grows silent and listens as the old man picks up where he left off. Gain one skill of your choice. To me, I think it's a no-brainer. Brawn, we can go all the way, so let's go ahead and do Brawn. And we start here. Let's go ahead and move this way. Awesome. We've completed a round. This says round end, read entry 808. We have threat X plus 1, starting with the player with the highest infamy and proceeding clockwise. Each player with one or more constellation event token must resolve their constellation event. Nobody has that. Then the highest infamy player must choose one of the following. We can stay and lose a crew, or we can leave. I'm feeling pretty good. I think let's go ahead and leave. Let's move. So it says the highest infamy player moves the ship one space, then read the entry listed on the new space. Do we want to go and check out this boat, or do we want to go clear sailing? I think to start us off, let's go clear sailing, huh? So we'll go to 001. We need to not forget to place our first threat tracker. And I believe when there's 2 here and then we have to check the threat tracker, that's when we have threat events. And that's another way that we can lose. We lose if we get to this threat event. So we don't want to get too much threat, which is why I decided we want to move. Because if we'd stayed there another round, we would have read entry 808 again. That would have put another threat token there. We'll go ahead and pop 001 into here. YARRRR! We have read the following to the player with the highest swagger. Who's the highest swagger? No one has any upgrades to their swagger, so then whenever there's a tie, you always look at the infamy tracker. So this is to Gummy Jones. We have a fight between 2 crewmates turns to blows on the ship's deck. Captain Vance had ordered you to keep the peace among the crew, but these 2 have been at each other's throats for a while, and you feel that letting them fight it out might result in their working it out for their systems. So do we break them up before someone gets hurt, or go on, let them fight it out? What would Gummy Jones do? You know, he's a culinary. He's not really in the mood to try and break something up. I think he's just going to let him fight it out. So we have here, the fight escalates, leaving both of the sailors bruised and beaten, and in the absence of leadership, other crew step in to pull the combatants away from each other. The entire encounter does nothing to mend the anger between the 2. Bummer. The next time you see Captain Vance, the odd man looks away and shakes his head in disappointment. Remove navigation token 001 from the game. Discontent +1. Turn to page 7 and then check threat. Okay, well at least our threat is fine. So that's what we're trying to check to see if we're at 2. If we were at 2, then we'd have to do a threat event. But we don't have to do that now. But we are going to have to move up our discontent. We probably shouldn't have let them find it out. We'll move up that discontent tracker by 1. We've now turned to page 7. Don't you guys love this art? Just look at this page right now. It looks amazing. Okay, I want you to see this because I'm going to put the app on top of it, and I just kind of feel bad about that. This says down here, staying at sea too long will put a lot of wear and tear on the hull. Beautiful. I mean, there's even whales here. Okay, so then what we do is we press the done button, and then we hit start timer. And you can see it's starting to go. So I've got 47 seconds. I've got to start with Gummy. So now these 2 locations we have to have people go to. Hungry Crew and Sail. Let's see. I think I'm going to go ahead and have Gummy go to the Hungry Crew. Then we'll have Swordfish Sally. I really want her... If she could increase her exploration, that would be great. And then, let's see. Now, if I ever run out of time on here before I place people, then we have Discontent go up by 1. Didn't I have someone get navigation? I did not. Either one of these guys would be good at navigation, so I'll do 1 navigation. And let's try and do an explore. Yeah, cool. Done. Oh, okay. Well, during that real-time phase, I made lots of poor decisions. I'm sure that's how that's supposed to happen, but oh well. Okay, we're starting with Gummy Jones. So he's in the Hungry Crew location. He can choose one of the following. he can either feed the hungry crew, spend a number of supplies equal to the current hunger, which is 5. That's half of our supplies. If you don't have enough, you can't choose it. That would give us +1 infamy, which we're already at, but discontent -1. That would actually help with what we already did before. We could ask them to go hungry. That would put discontent up by 2. We'd actually increase our swagger, but our infamy would go down. Or we can let them raid supplies, but I don't want to do that because that'd actually make our supplies go to 0. I think since we're at the beginning of the game, let's start with feeding the hungry crew, okay? So we're going to spend supplies. So our supplies right now is at 10, all the way down to 5, you guys. Woof. But then that means +1 infamy, that doesn't matter, but the -1 discontent, I will take that because right now we pushed that up during the last event, and now we put that back down. So that was Gummy Jones. Next, we have Swordfish Sally. She's going to go ahead and chart a route. First thing she's going to do is increase her exploration by 1 and then perform an exploration check. Increasing her exploration by 1 gives us a star, which is great. We'll continue on our constellation. We only need 2 more and we'll get our first exclamation point. We'll roll a d12, adding 1 to it. And we get a 2, adding 1 is 3. We don't see a thing. Actually, no, we get to scout 2 spaces, and infamy -2. Well, the infamy -2 kind of stinks. So putting our infamy track up, actually, I don't even know if that stinks. I haven't figured that out yet. We'll swap her back down to the bottom here, but we still get to scout 2 spaces. We're trying to get all the way over here, and we're trying to stay as far as we can from this boat. So I think we'll scout here and then scout here. That's being a little bit, or do we want to be more risky? Let's be more risky. Let's scout here and then here. Yeah, let's do it that way. Okay. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. You see that exclamation icon? That means if we go to that spot, we cannot move for the rest of the round. And that does not look like good weather. So we might want to avoid that and move this way. I don't know. We'll have to decide. For wise old Cookie, she was pretty wise. She gets to choose 2 of the following. She can fight a walrus, increase her brawn, and increase her infamy. She can hunt for a treasure, get a treasure. She can set some traps, perform a hunting check on a result of 10+, read a specific entry. Or she can search the sunken ship, read entry 226. That's too good to pass up on. I want to do search the sunken ship. Do I want another treasure? She already has 2 treasure. Let's go ahead and fight a walrus so we can increase our brawn and we'll push up our infamy. We'll do that first. That does not give us a star, but the next 2 times we increase our brawn, we will get a star. That's why I thought that was a good idea. +3 infamy. That's just going to make us go up to the top. Here we push Gummy Jones out of the way. We'll put in 226 here, and we have a crossroad event. Annabelle's resting place. You discover an old ship on the sea's bed, none other than the piercing dawn. It was the ship of Annabelle Mont, lost daughter of the king. You dive deep, and luckily you find her quarters near the great cabin. The girl's skeleton lies on a bed, but more pleasant are the 2 chests that sit nearby. You will only be able to return with 1. Take the chest covered in strange symbols, or take the chest with images of a large jewel carved into its lid. Take the chest covered in strange symbols, or take the chest with an image of a large jewel. You know, I feel like I should do this one, which makes me think that I should probably do this one. Strange symbols. Strange symbols. Let's see, what do we get? The chest contains several journals that are miraculously in good condition, thanks to the airtight seal. You find one curious passage.
Father doesn't approve of my trips to Sunset, saying I undo the work our family began centuries ago. But I say he is a fool, for he fails to understand the knowledge that can be gained.
Bad luck, says up here when shown your book. But I tell you what, I'll trade you that book for some of my loot. I'm going to learn to read one day, so that book will really come in handy. You eagerly agree. Grab a reroll token and a treasure, and then lock action 3. I guess I have 2 items that are going to lock action 3. So I'll grab a reroll token. That's great for her, and she gains her 3rd treasure, which is, what is that? Mom's trusty cutlass. Wow, she's just getting all the ones that's giving her bonuses to her stats. Finally, we have TikTok Ross. So we are going to sail. We have a navigation +1, so that's actually nice for him. He will get to do another constellation upgrade. So let's do that. And I think let's move this way first. Next, we're only 2 away then. And then looking here, perform a navigation check. He'll add 1 to this roll, and we rolled a 10, so an 11. At 11, infamy +1, so he'll get to push himself up on the infamy track. Well, we're pushing Gummy Jones all the way back. There we go. And then we have, you may spend supplies and or hull to move the ship. For every 2 supplies or hull spent, move the ship 1 space. Ooh. Let's go ahead and use 1 of each, because it says and or, so I think you can do 1 of each to move 1 space. I really don't like the look of this one, so I'm going to go ahead and move here. From what I understand, I still have to put a navigation token there. Oh, it's another one with the red exclamation, so we couldn't move more anyways. But we don't read this unless the app tells us to. So we're not going to read 015 right now, from how I understand. We're just going to be there. We might have something that says read the tile that you're on. But yeah, that's where we are now. That'll end this round, so let's go to read entry 802. We get threat X +1. Bummer. That's going to place another threat token. So I'll place that onto our board. We now have 2 threat. Starting with the player with the highest infamy and proceeding clockwise, each player with 1 or more constellation. Yeah, none of them do. Did the ship move this round? Yes, it did. Read the entry listed on the ship's new space. Okay, so that's 015. 015. Crossroads event, fog test. Read the following to the player with the highest navigation. So we've got Swordfish Sally has 1, and I believe, yep, TikTok Ross also has 1. So TikTok Ross is higher on the infamy track, so it's him. You enter a troubling fog, which makes sense actually, because he's the one that's sailing. You enter a troubling fog that rises up without warning. An ill omen this be, says the captain. He turns to you and asks, So, matey, let us test your skills. What shall we do when fancying a foul gloom such as this? Advise the captain to stay the course and push through the fog. Advise the captain to slow the ship until the fog passes. I just feel like we're going to run into a rock this way. This way we're probably going to have to use more supplies. I'm already running low. Ugh, supplies. Perfect choice, me matey, says the captain with an approving nod. Always best to play it safe. No point crashing into who knows what. When the fog evaporates, you spy an enemy ship off the port bow. It too seemed to be moving cautiously in the fog. If you'd been sailing at top speed, you could have crashed into it. Remove navigation token 15 from the game. Ooh, we get a reroll. Nice. And then turn to page 55. Is Hawkeye written on the ship's log? No, it's not. We are definitely not a Hawkeye, so we can say no. And it says, set dial A to 4, set dial B to 7. I have a feeling we're going to have to deal with that enemy ship. Here's page 55, and I just love this art. We've got enemy hull and enemy sails. So that tells us what that A and B are. Enemy hull is the 4, and enemy sails is the 7. It says destroy the enemy's hull if you want to sink them. Take out their sails if you want to board them. I think I want to sink them. It's going to be easier right now. The hull is only a 4, so that's just good to know. Okay, I'm going to place this here, and we're going to start the timer. What are we going to do? So if I'm looking for a hull, I want to, let's see, we got rally the crew, load the cannons, fire the cannons. We can put multiple people, so we could have 2 people load the cannons, and, no, 1 person load, 2 to fire, and 1 to gather debris. No one's great at hunting. Oh, who's really good? We've got someone who can get a +1. Yes, that is Gummy Jones. Awesome. I think that's good. Do we want to do 2 load? We could do 2 load and 2 fire, and then maybe if we can stay here another round, we can gather. Yeah, let's do 2 load and 2 fire, because I don't know if I need... Yeah, well, let's do it. We'll probably gain a reroll token. These are telling us we're hitting A and B, so that's good. I'm hoping we can hit A harder than B. Okay, yeah. Oh, I should have hit done. I think we're good. All right, let's now resolve. When we're loading the cannons, we get to choose 2 of the following. We can spend 1 supply to flip 1 cannon from its unloaded side to its loaded side. You can choose this many times. You can change your infamy or gain a reroll. So I'm going to go ahead and have... Oh, man, I shouldn't have had 2 people go here. Oh, well. I'm going to go ahead and have Wise Old Cookie. She's going to go ahead and spend 1 supplies. That's going to knock our supplies from 4 down to 3. Sure huck we find a way to increase that. And then that's going to flip this over to our loaded side, which I think is good. And then for Swordfish Sally, I think all we're going to do is grab 2 reroll tokens. I don't really care where she is in the infamy track. Granted, she's at the bottom. That's okay. She'll grab 2 reroll tokens. Hopefully that'll help with attacking maybe next round if we need to do it next round. Now for firing. Gummy Jones we'll start with. He gets aim +1. So that means on here we can increase our aim by 1, which is sweet because that's another star. That'll get us here. We're only 2 away from exclamation point. And then we can choose one of the following targets: enemy hull or enemy sails. Perform an aim check, and before rolling, you may flip 1 loaded cannon to its unloaded side to add its bonus. They're each +3s, and that's before rolling. Yeah, we're gonna do one of them. So we're gonna take this and shoot it. We are definitely going for the enemy hull because it's only a 4. This is gonna add a 3 to our roll. We're adding a total of 4 to this roll, 3 from the cannon and 1 from our aim upgrade. And we have a 12. 12 plus 4 is 16. Heck yeah, a 16. We get to reduce the targeted dial by 2. So we go from 4 down to 2. So we're 2 away from sinking them. And we increase our infamy by 1. So we're going to swap places right here, actually with TikTok Ross, who's then going to go next. And why the heck not? Let's do the same thing. We're going to use the other cannon with the +3. We also get our aim increased by 1, which is great because that is also another star. And so we'll move up here 1 more, and we will get our first exclamation point. We're adding 4 to this roll. I really want a 13 because then we can sink it. So 6 plus 4, that's only 10. We have a reroll token. Use it. Let's re-roll. Come on, come on. That's an 11. 11 plus 4 is 15. Let's go ahead and reduce the targeted dial by 2. And our infamy increases by 1. So we're just going to swap places again with Gummy and Jones. Hey, what is this? That will push this dial, though, all the way up to 0. I feel pretty good about that. Let's read entry 826. Who knows what's going to happen? Did the ship move this round? No, it did not. Is dial A at 0? Yes, it is. "Let us aboard!" cries the enemy crew as their boat sinks, but you all grunt in disapproval. "We have booze!" they cry. "Welcome aboard!" you all cry. Crew +2. Ah, dang, we don't have any more room for crew. The highest infamy player, which is, let's see, that's Wise Old Cookie, moves the ship 1 space. Read the entry listed on the new space. We'll grab a navigation token because we're definitely going to move there. And we have, oh great, another enemy ship it looks like, 024. We'll put that in here, 024, enter. Crossroads event, Hawkeye. Read the following to the player with the highest infamy. So this is Wise Old Cookie. As you chase a small merchant vessel, a fellow pirate ship approaches in the distance. Captain Vance orders the crew to spill wind. To spill wind? Yeah, to spill wind and let the other ship run alongside you. On the other craft is Captain Shruti Hawkeye, a heavy-set woman with dark skin, a patch over her eye and a stern look on her face. She calls to Captain Vance. "Vance, these be my waters, and we've been tracking this merchant for hours. You know the code. Best sail away." She's right about the code, he says, but she could be lying about the merchant. What do you say? Should we yield? I just took out another ship, and I think I'm going to yield. You don't like losing potential loot, but the code is the code. It's for the best, agrees Vance, but not all among the crew are sympathetic. You later discover that some are missing, presumably choosing to go overboard and join Captain Hawkeye. But it's their loss. For as thanks for honoring the code, Shruti Hawkeye shares some tactical knowledge with Captain Vance concerning other ships in the area. Boom. Remove navigation token 024 from the gain, crew -2, and then write Hawkeye in the ship's log. Turn to page 3, and then we're going to check threat. Crew -2 puts us down to only have 8 crew, but hey, it's easier to feed them. Here we have Hawkeye now in our notes. We have a total of 2 threat here. We can see that there's 2 threat here, so that means we have to have a threat event. So we're going to read entry 791. A sickly-looking parrot crashes into the deck. The crew gathers around it, thinking it is surely dead. Poor little blighter, blubbers Sad Sally. There's a Sad Sally and a Swordfish Sally. Stop your weeping, Captain Vance chuckles as he pushes everyone inside. This here is me old parrot Flapjacks, and believe me, he will outlive us all. What is it, me boy? Flapjacks jumps to life, rustling the sad patches of feathers on his back. Razor on the move, the parrot squeaks. Razor coming for you all. The crew gasps, fearing what Captain Razor would do if he found them. Best get moving then, Captain Vance shouts. Discontent +1. Move special location token 962 one space towards the ship. Are the ship and special location tokens in the same space? Oh, well, thank goodness no. He's going to go ahead and move right here. That means we got to run away. And our discontent was going to go up by 1. So we're going to go back up to 1. Fortunately, we can select no, remove all threat from the threat track. Okay, we've got a little bit of space. I've removed both threat. Thank goodness. Done. You can see here in page 3, we're back out in the open sea. The only thing I'm sad about is I think we took out a ship, but we didn't get anything for it. That's because I put too many people out. Whatever. I just wasted a lot, I think, which is a bummer. Staying at sea too long will put a lot of wear and tear on the hull. Okay, let's place this here, and let's start our timer. Okay, we have a hungry crew, and we need to sail. So I think I'm going to have Gummy Jones go ahead and do the sailing. Oh, man, hungry crew. We definitely need supplies. This is going to give us supplies. Our fisher is, right now, we old Cookie has the best fishing, so let's have her go there. We'll have Swordfish. Yeah, let's have Swordfish Sally go ahead and do the hungry crew. And maybe we could talk to the crew, or we could chart a course, and that'd give us a treasure. If we talk to the crew, I don't know. This gives us a reroll, a treasure, and increases our swagger. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Done. That time I remember to click it. We've got ourselves a hungry crew, and the problem is we only have 3 supplies. Our crew right now needs 4 food, so we literally can't have them eat. So we're going to have to ask them to go hungry. Discontent +2. Our swagger is going to be +1, but our discontent being +2. Ugh. So you can see our crew and our discontent. We're moving all the way up to 3. But then we do get to increase our swagger, so we must be like, hey, you guys don't have to eat food, right? You're fine, right? Moving up swagger does get us another constellation. We're 1 away from a benefit. We really need to get someone to get one of those. I think a lot of those are going to help us out, I believe. Her infamy would be -1, but look at this. She's already at the bottom of the totem pole, so that is not going to do anything. Nobody really likes her anyways. Sorry, Sally. Next, we have fishing. So first, we get to increase our hunting +1 and then perform a hunting check. Hunting is great because that's another constellation upgrade. We're going to go here, and I'm realizing I should have done this one first if I wanted an exclamation because we need 2 more, but that's okay. We at least know that. We do have a loot that helps with our hunting, so we're going to add +2 to our roll, and we have a reroll token if we need it. Looking for as high as we can get. A 7, that's +2, that's 9. Let's go with it. A 9 is supplies +2 and a treasure +1. So we'll go all the way up to 5 supplies here, and this is going to be her 4th treasure. We need to find a way to bury some to get some upgrades. And she's got more stuff. When you gain 1 or more infamy, gain 1 additional infamy. And we cannot bury this. Okay. This gives us +1 to our swagger and another +1 to our hunting. We have just the best loot ever. Now let's go ahead and talk to the crew. So choose 2 of the following. Load a cannon. We can spend 1 supply to flip an unloaded cannon to its loaded side. And then we can tinker with a cannon, reroll +1, or spend 3 supplies to upgrade 1 cannon by 1 level. Or practice your aim and get +1 to our aim. Let's go ahead and do +1 to our aim and load a cannon. I really want to tinker, but I don't think I'm ready for that. 3 supplies, that's a lot of supplies. We're not ready for that. So let's increase our aim, and let's go ahead and spend 1 supplies to flip one of these. We'll just flip it to a +3. That does mean, though, our supplies goes down to 4. Another aim is cool, but it's not giving us a constellation upgrade, but the next 2 aims will. Finally, let's go ahead and sail. So first of all, we get a navigation +1 for Gummy Jones. which is great because that's going to give him another another constellation upgrade. And that means he's only 1 away from this exclamation point and then 2 more away from another one, which is awesome. Then we have to perform a navigation check. We're going to add 1 to our roll, and we do have 1 reroll token. And I do think I'm going to go ahead and use my sack of gunpowder right now. We can discard to gain an aim or to gain 2 supplies. I'm going to discard this to gain 2 supplies. I'm going to go from 4 to 6 because we might need to use some of these for our navigation. We're adding 1 to this roll. We rolled an 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. Let me see what that would get. That's okay. We'll keep the 9. First of all, our infamy goes up by 1. So we're going to swap with Ross like so. And then we have here, you may spend supplies in our hull to move the ship. Every 2 supplies or hull is 1 space. Yeah, we're definitely going to do that. We're going to do 1 of each. So we'll do our supplies down to 5. And our hull, which is at a 5, can go down to a 4. Let's go ahead and move 1 space. We're going to move to this 005. We are right next to that ship, but the thing is we don't have any threat on our threat track, thank goodness. And then hopefully we can start moving along this way. I'm realizing, you guys, I wonder if I could have gone this way. I probably should have gone this way to stay away from this 962. You guys are probably watching this laughing at me. Why did you go this way? For some random reason, I was thinking in my mind I shouldn't go over here because of these exclamation points, but I totally could have. Oh well. We're just taking the long route to go around. For round N, we're going to go ahead and go to 800. We're adding threat +1, so that's our first threat. And then starting with the first player, anyone that can do a constellation event would. We still can't. Did the ship move? Yes. Read the entry listed. So that's a 005, 005. Here we have a crossroads event. Read the following to the player with the most treasures. That's wise old cookie. She's got 4. You've once again caught a case of bovine yellow gut, so you pay a visit to Patches, the ship's surgeon. You ever think about it all? The big picture? Asked Patches. You sit on a chair below deck as he looks at your stomach. Like, is there more to life than stabbing decent folk in the guts and taking their stuff? Well, sure, says you. There's also stabbing horrible folk in the guts and taking their stuff. Oh yeah, says Patches, brightening at the prospect. By the gods, this is the life. Here, take this medicine. In a couple of days you'll be right as rain. We can drink the medicine, though it smells unwholesome, or avoid Patches' swill and wait the illness out. No, we're going to drink it. Let's see. This says, the medicine kills your malady and your eyesight. You spend a day stumbling around, cursing Patches under your breath. Remove navigation token 005 from the game. Misfortune +2. Oh, and supplies -1. Oh, okay. This is something new you haven't seen. Misfortune tokens. The next 2 times that we're going to have to roll dice for her, we're going to have to roll 2 and take the worst result. Ugh, that sucks. And not only that, losing 1 supply, we're going to go down to 4 instead of 5. And then we have here, turn to page 7 and then check threat. Our threat is good. We only have 1.